Do the indictments make you less excited about?
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, I'm still young. I really don't know what's going on, but
I mean, young is good.
yeah, I still think he still kind of did up. But I don't think that should be a reason why he shouldn't be able to run. Because if people want him, they want him. It's the people's decision, right?
Let's say on one of those he's convicted. Do you think that changes the conversation a bit? But by a jury, I'm talking about.
Are you asking he shouldn't be president if he's indicted by one?
Yeah. Convicted, not indicted.
And convicted? Nah. I feel like people do stuff. He messed up. If he owns up to it, acknowledges what he did, and he admits to it before he's convicted, or
Do you see that coming? Do you see that coming?
No.
If he's convicted of any of these 91 counts, would you see that in a different light?
I just think that he's the only president that has ever faced anything like this. There's never been anything in history that's happened to any other presidential candidate. I think there's a bigger picture behind it, and Donald Trump's just trying to do the right thing for America.
If a jury finds him guilty on any of these 91 indictments against him, would that change your opinion about whether or not he should be able to serve as president?
No, I fully believe we have a two-tier justice system in this country, so no. I mean, it depends on who is on the jury in my mind. Agreed. To me, I mean, if you're going to have a biased panel, a biased jury, then I don't know. It's really hard to say. But if it was an unbiased panel of our peers, then we'll just have to see what they decide.
If any of these juries convict the former president, would that change your opinion of whether or not he should serve?
Well, the question is, can he actually get a fair trial by jury? If he's going to be tried in Manhattan, forget about it. If he's going to be tried in D.C., they need to actually give him a fair trial. They need to apply the law equally. If you're going to say Joe Biden is too senile to stand trial for classified documents, but is fit to be president, but then they're going to actually charge Trump with a similar...
Are people saying that, though?
Yes, absolutely people are saying that. Trump was president. Joe Biden was not, right? And so, they're going to charge one guy and not the other. If someone committed a crime, Trump included, charge him, but also apply it equally. You basically have the Department of Justice, his political opponent, basically going after him. You know, these lawsuits are absurd. Come on, that's just political lawfare. Lawfare.
I'm not taking a side. I'm not defending Hamas, but I'm just saying that there are tens of thousands of people who have died over there. Do you think that at a certain point, if we're giving money to Israel, we should be able to tell Israel, you got to cool it?
Cool it? What do you mean by cool it?
I mean,
defending themselves from terror attacks?
No, have a ceasefire and try and work this out diplomatically and stop bombing innocents.
They are defending themselves. So having people in New York City have rallies in support of terrorists attacking Israeli kibbutz and killing innocent people, what the hell is wrong with the left-wing media these days that they're supporting that terrorist organization, Hamas?
I think that it's not just the mainstream media. It's a lot of people are seeing, when we see death as human beings, we want to react to it.
You asked me about the ceasefire?
Yeah.
No, they need to go and hunt down the terrorists and kill them all. And, generally speaking, I'm not saying all Palestinians are terrorists, but Hamas is an organization that controls all of them, right? And they continue to attack Israel. They want them all dead. They've stated that. It's part of their charter, essentially. And the prior iterations pre-Hamas, when you go back in all those years, all those terrorist organizations that emerge, they all want to kill Israel. Israel has, they should be able to exist, all right?
Well,
themselves. They have a right to defend themselves.
Tell me what it is about Donald Trump you like so much.
His policies, his love for this country, because right now, we don't have that in the current administration, and we need it back desperately.
So you don't think Joe Biden loves the country?
Not at all. He's as corrupt as they come, as well as his whole crime-ridden family.
I want to ask you, just because you brought up crime and all that, 91 indictments against the former president. If he were to be convicted on any of those by a jury, I'm not talking about a judge in New York saying you owe this money or anything like that. That's one person. A jury of his peers. If there's a conviction, do you think that would disqualify him from the presidency?
Absolutely not, and it shouldn't. No sitting president has ever had to go through this kind of treatment. And it's appalling, and it's an embarrassment to the American people.
Well, he's not a sitting president now. Right?
Right,
He's a former president, and these things happened while he was a former president.
right.
Yeah. So, do you think that makes it a little different?
No.
How much do you blame the pandemic on the financial woes that either you or me or the country has had to endure?
The pandemic, truly, Fauci's got his hands deep in it with the vaccine. Every shot, there was money being given from the pharmaceutical companies. So they've got a big part to play in that.
Do you think Trump did a really good job of getting us a vaccine and getting it to us quickly?
What I wish Trump would have done is got rid of Fauci and maybe had his circle a little tighter, because there was a lot of misinformation about the coronavirus. Myself work in the general public, never got it. Many of my co-workers, colleagues, never got it. And I think it was blown way out of proportion. I think the flu has more consequences than coronavirus did.
Scientists would disagree with you.
Sure. They're going to disagree, and I disagree with them.
So you're disagreeing with science in this case?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Whoever caused it, I think it's pretty well established that it was a virus that did a lot of damage. How much of the economic woes that we have suffered as a country, and you personally have suffered, would you attribute to the coronavirus?
Quite a bit. We've never seen anything like that happen to us in this country. And economically, it was devastating, absolutely devastating.
And so now that we're out of the pandemic time, do you see that we have that the economy is starting to get a little bit better, because economists are saying the numbers are pointing in that direction, all-time low joblessness, those sorts of things?
Not at all. The jobs that Biden wanted to claim he brought to his administration were already coming from when Trump was in office. So he just assumed that. And economically, he's destroyed us.
The economy is now improving. The metrics we use to measure the economy, by those metrics, when we say it's bad, it's by those metrics. When we say it's good, it's by those metrics. It is improving according to those. Do you credit the president with that at all?
No, because I don't think he actually knows anything that's really going on, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that he most times can't get a sentence out, and then they will tell you that it's because of his stutter problem or something, but he can't even get up there Trump was on here for almost 2 hours, and he's still going, but Biden could not do that.
And ma'am,
it's the people in his administration I would give credit to, not him.
what would you, I heard you immediately when I said that about President.
Economy isn't better. The price of food is outrageous. It's not better yet.
I'm not taking issue with your opinion of that at all. I'm just saying that by those metrics, things are going in that direction to betterment.
And I don't think that. I don't think that.
I believe he's the greatest president we've had since Lincoln. I really believe that. And I believe he's the only one who can save this country from disaster. And I would like to think that after I'm gone, that there is a country left for my children, grandchildren, my descendants. And he's the only one that can do it, because I believe the whole Democratic Party, with the exception of 2 or 3, I like RFK Jr.
Who were those 2 or 3?
Oh, RFK Jr. is one of them, I would say. He's an old school liberal. He's the way they used to be. There's only a couple. They all are depraved. They're evil. They're communists. They've gone nuts. It's as if the Democratic Party has sold its soul to Satan. And the Republican Party, and even Newt Gingrich, when I talked to him, verified this, 80 to 90% of them suck. It's beyond the party system. You go to Washington, D.C., you see the Capitol building. It's not a reverend place anymore. What it is, it's a brothel. It's the biggest whorehouse in the world. They're in there whoring themselves out to communist China for their own personal profit. That's why they hate Donald Trump, because he came there. He was an outsider from New York. He discovered what was going on, and he started slapping them in the faces, figuratively speaking, and telling them, get off your feet and you act like Americans. You're a disgrace. And he interfered with the goose that laid the golden egg. He stomped all over it, and they were like, this guy's got to die. And that's what I really fear. I fear if they can't get him with lawfare, if they can't take him down with the Soviet-style show trials, and everything else they're drumming up, and stuffing ballots.
Is there anything he could do to lose your support?
Not one damn thing.
What if he walked out of this building right now and shot these 2 ladies right here?
But you see, he wouldn't do that.
But I'm saying about anything.
Nothing. That's not a thing he could do.
Right.
No.
So even that, though.
My support is unwavering, and it's not a cult. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Donald Trump is my favorite president.
So it's Jesus, then Donald.
Yes. Well, Jesus is God. Donald was just sent by God. I believe Donald Trump was sent by God to preserve Abraham Lincoln's promise that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people will not perish from the face of this earth.